Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a truth that might surprise you. A man doesn't fall in love simply because of how beautiful a woman looks. He falls in love because of how she makes him feel when he's around her. Attraction begins with the eyes but lasts in the heart. And the moment this truth comes alive is when you choose yourself. At first, beauty and physical appeal capture attention because our senses are drawn to what we see. A man may notice the way a woman carries herself, her smile, her style, or her charm, but these are only the sparks that light the flame. If there is nothing deeper to sustain it, those sparks eventually fade. What creates the fire that endures is not how you look in a given moment, but how you live, how you respect yourself, and how you make others feel when they are with you. This is where choosing yourself becomes the turning point, because the energy you radiate from self-respect and self-confidence turns fleeting attraction into lasting connection. Choosing yourself means deciding every single day that you are not here to impress anyone, you are here to honor your worth. When a woman chooses herself, she steps into the world with an energy that says, "I am enough as I am, and I will not bend myself just to be accepted." This energy is powerful because it communicates value before a single word is spoken. Attraction may start with appearance, but what keeps it alive is how a man feels in the presence of a woman who is deeply rooted in her own worth. When you choose yourself, you send a signal that you are not waiting for someone else to validate you. That independence, that strength, and that calm assurance become more compelling than physical features ever could. The heart remembers how you make it feel, not just how you look. When you choose yourself, you embody joy that isn't conditional on someone else's attention. You laugh without needing approval, you walk without needing to be admired, you give love without losing yourself in the process. This creates a magnetic presence. A man can be captivated by beauty, but if he senses insecurity or desperation, his attraction wanes. On the other hand, a woman who has chosen herself gives off an aura of peace and confidence that draws people in and holds their attention long after the first glance. Attraction that begins with the eyes often tests whether it can survive past the surface. Looks may attract, but they cannot sustain connection if there is no substance beneath them. Choosing yourself provides that substance because it means you live with purpose and integrity. You have passions, boundaries, dreams, and standards. These qualities transform admiration into respect. A man may be drawn to a face or figure, but he stays because he sees a woman who knows her own worth and refuses to compromise it for anyone. That refusal creates respect, and respect deepens desire. There is also a psychological reason why choosing yourself makes attraction last. Humans crave certainty and stability in relationships. When you have not chosen yourself, you give off insecurity, and insecurity makes others question if they can truly feel safe with you. But when you have chosen yourself, you radiate stability. You become someone whose happiness is not dependent on another person's behavior. This emotional independence allows a man to feel that he can build with you rather than carry you. That shift from being a source of pressure to being a source of inspiration changes everything. The heart is not just attracted, it feels compelled to hold on. Choosing yourself also means you are willing to walk away from anything that diminishes you. This decisiveness is powerful. A woman who does not cling out of fear of being alone communicates strength that captivates a man beyond looks. When you demonstrate that your life has meaning and fulfillment outside of a relationship, you show that you want a partner, not a crutch. This distinction makes you unforgettable because true attraction thrives where there is freedom, not dependency. The eyes may be what draw a man in, but the heart is what makes him stay, and the heart stays where it feels both inspired and safe. By choosing yourself, you embody a combination of confidence, independence, and emotional richness that transforms attraction into something enduring. It is not just about being noticed, it is about being remembered, cherished, and valued long after first impressions fade. Self-worth is magnetic, and it comes fully into place when you choose yourself. The moment you decide that your value is not determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself, you shift the energy you carry into every interaction. People are drawn to those who carry a quiet but unshakable sense of worth because it creates an aura of confidence and stability. When you choose yourself, you no longer walk into a room hoping to be enough, you walk in already knowing that you are. That certainty is not arrogance. It is an inner alignment that makes others stop, notice, and want to be close to you. Attraction is not only about beauty, charm, or outward success. It is deeply rooted in the invisible energy people feel when they are near you. Self-worth communicates that you have boundaries, that you will not settle for less than respect, and that you are not afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve you. This is compelling because it creates both intrigue and admiration. A person who does not cling, beg, or compromise their dignity in order to be loved is far more magnetic than someone who chases approval at every turn. Choosing yourself means you establish the standard, and when you hold to it, you naturally draw people who respect and value you at a deeper level. When you carry self-worth, your presence feels different. You no longer seek validation through constant reassurance or attention. Instead, your actions reflect a person who is already complete. This creates a sense of ease around you, and ease is attractive. People enjoy being near those who are comfortable with themselves because it allows them to feel comfortable too. Self-worth radiates in how you carry conversations, how you set your boundaries without apology, and how you don't crumble when faced with rejection. Choosing yourself makes rejection less threatening because you understand that another person's inability to see your value does not erase it. That resilience is magnetic, and it leaves an impression stronger than surface-level attraction ever could. Self-worth is also tied to how you make others feel. When you have chosen yourself, you do not operate from fear or scarcity. You are not constantly trying to prove that you deserve love, so you show up more authentically. That authenticity draws people in because it gives them permission to be real too. In contrast, when someone lacks self-worth, every interaction becomes clouded by insecurity, neediness, or pretense. This repels rather than attracts because it creates pressure and imbalance. But when you choose yourself, your self-worth allows others to breathe freely in your presence. They feel safe, respected, and inspired, and this emotional impact lingers long after the initial encounter. Self-worth is magnetic because it reflects certainty, and certainty is rare. In a world where many people seek external validation, encountering someone who validates themselves is refreshing. That kind of energy stands out. It creates curiosity, and curiosity fuels attraction. People begin to wonder what it is that makes you so composed, so centered, and so unwilling to compromise your peace for temporary attention. The answer is simple: you chose yourself. That choice sets you apart because it shows strength and maturity that cannot be faked. Choosing yourself also redefines the dynamics of relationships. Without self-worth, you may accept treatment that is beneath you just to avoid being alone. But when you have chosen yourself, you no longer see being alone as a threat. You see it as a standard. You'd rather be alone with dignity than together without respect. That standard changes the way people respond to you. It challenges them to step up, to treat you with care, and to value your presence. The magnetic pull of self-worth doesn't just attract attention, it commands respect, and respect is the soil where genuine love can grow. Self-worth shines brightest in the moments when you say no. No to toxic behavior, no to broken promises, no to disrespect disguised as love. Every time you choose yourself in those moments, you strengthen the signal you send to the world. I am not desperate for acceptance. I am deserving of real value. That signal attracts people who align with your standard and filters out those who do not. In this way, self-worth becomes a magnet not only for relationships but also for opportunities, friendships, and environments that honor your growth. The magnetism of self-worth is not loud or boastful. It is subtle, steady, and undeniable. It is felt in the way you carry yourself with calm assurance, in the way you do not chase validation, and in the way you choose your peace over chaos. When you choose yourself, you step into the full force of that magnetism, and people are naturally drawn to it, because it represents the kind of confidence and security they wish they had themselves. Confidence over appearance comes into place when you choose yourself, because the way you see and carry yourself has a far greater impact than the way you look. Appearance may catch the eye, but confidence captures the room. Beauty can attract attention for a moment, but without confidence, it struggles to hold it. When you choose yourself, you stop competing with others on surface-level attributes and instead step into the kind of presence that makes people feel your energy before they even process your looks. Confidence is the force that makes you memorable long after first impressions fade. Appearance is often overrated because society conditions people to believe that physical beauty is the ultimate key to attraction. While appearance may open doors, it rarely keeps them open. The truth is that someone may be admired for their looks, but if insecurity shows through their behavior, the attraction diminishes quickly. Confidence, on the other hand, sustains interest because it communicates strength, certainty, and self-acceptance. Choosing yourself means you invest in believing that your value is not defined by your reflection in the mirror, but by the energy you carry. That belief radiates through your body language. Your tone, your eye contact, and your decisions, making confidence far more compelling than looks alone. When you choose yourself, you begin to embody confidence as a lifestyle rather than an act. It shows in the way you walk into a room without shrinking, the way you speak without doubting your own voice, and the way you stand firm in your standards without apology. This type of confidence creates attraction that appearance cannot compete with, because it reaches beyond what is seen and into what is felt. People may notice beauty, but they remember confidence because it leaves an emotional imprint. Confidence is also magnetic because it reduces insecurity in others. Someone who is beautiful but insecure may create tension, as they constantly seek validation or fear comparison. But someone who exudes confidence puts others at ease. They do not need to compete, they do not need to prove, and that calm assurance allows others to relax in their presence. Choosing yourself develops this kind of confidence because it comes from within. When you decide that your worth is not negotiable, you stop letting appearance dictate your value and instead let your certainty guide how others experience you. Another reason confidence over appearance is so powerful is that it lasts. Looks change with time, but confidence grows with experience. A person who invests solely in appearance may find their influence fading, while a person who builds confidence only becomes more magnetic with age. Choosing yourself ensures that your power is rooted in something enduring. This makes your presence timeless, because no matter how your appearance evolves, your confidence remains the anchor that holds attention and respect. Confidence also creates boundaries. A person who relies only on appearance may tolerate mistreatment in exchange for attention, but a confident person does not. They understand their value and are not afraid to enforce it. This creates a dynamic shift in relationships because others are drawn not just to how you look, but to the way you demand to be treated. Choosing yourself gives you the courage to walk away from situations that diminish you, and that courage strengthens your confidence. It is this cycle of self-respect and self-belief that makes confidence more powerful than appearance ever could be. Confidence also amplifies appearance rather than replacing it. Beauty without confidence can be overlooked, but confidence makes any level of beauty shine brighter. When you choose yourself, you carry your appearance with pride rather than doubt, and that pride transforms the way others perceive you. People are less influenced by perfect features and more influenced by how you carry the features you have. Confidence can turn ordinary into extraordinary because it enhances presence, while appearance without confidence often fades into the background. The impact of confidence over appearance becomes most evident in how it makes others feel. People are not just drawn to someone who looks good, they are drawn to someone who makes them feel good. Confidence creates an environment where others feel uplifted, secure, and inspired. This is not achieved through appearance alone, but through the energy of someone who has chosen themselves and walks in that choice unapologetically. Confidence commands attention without demanding it, while appearance often begs for it. That difference is why confidence sustains attraction far longer than looks ever will. Choosing yourself is the foundation of real confidence. When you accept yourself fully, flaws and all, you no longer hide behind appearances or fear rejection. You project authenticity, and authenticity is irresistible. Confidence becomes the filter that separates those who are drawn to your surface from those who are captivated by your essence. This is why confidence over appearance is the true key to lasting attraction, and it only becomes possible when you make the decision to choose yourself first. Men crave both excitement and depth, and this balance comes into place when you choose yourself, because choosing yourself allows you to embody both qualities naturally. Excitement is the spark that ignites attraction, while depth is the anchor that keeps it alive. Without excitement, interactions become dull and predictable, but without depth, they remain shallow and fleeting. A woman who chooses herself creates excitement through her independence, her passions, and her willingness to live fully, while also offering depth through her emotional intelligence, empathy, and authenticity. This combination is what makes her unforgettable, because she becomes both an adventure and a safe harbor. Excitement often comes from unpredictability and the willingness to embrace life with energy. When you choose yourself, you stop waiting for someone else to create joy for you and begin cultivating it within your own life. You pursue your interests, your goals, and your pleasures, and that self-directed joy radiates outward. Men are drawn to this energy because it signals vitality and confidence. It is not about being wild or constantly entertaining. It is about showing that your life has color, passion, and movement with or without them. This creates excitement because it inspires curiosity and admiration, making a man eager to be part of your world. Yet excitement alone is not enough. If there is no depth behind the thrill, the attraction burns fast and fades. Depth is what sustains desire because it reaches into the heart rather than stopping at the surface. Choosing yourself nurtures depth because it requires self-awareness, reflection, and the courage to understand who you are and what you want. This depth is expressed in the way you connect with others, the way you listen, and the way you bring meaning into conversations and relationships. Men crave this depth because it offers them emotional security and connection, something far more valuable than momentary pleasure. When a woman chooses herself, she does not depend on a man to create excitement or to provide depth for her. She already embodies both, and this balance is magnetic. She can bring joy, laughter, and spontaneity into moments, but she can also sit with silence, engage in meaningful dialogue, and offer understanding. This duality is powerful because it prevents relationships from becoming one-dimensional. Excitement without depth leaves men restless. Depth without excitement leaves them uninspired. Choosing yourself allows you to live as a whole person, capable of offering both without losing yourself in the process. Excitement and depth together create contrast, and contrast is what makes relationships compelling. When you choose yourself, you become confident enough to let both sides of you exist openly. You can be playful, adventurous, and light-hearted without fearing judgment, and you can also be thoughtful, vulnerable, and sincere without fearing rejection. This openness is magnetic because it shows authenticity. Men crave authenticity, even if they do not always articulate it, because it creates trust. When they sense both the thrill of excitement and the grounding of depth in the same person, they feel both challenged and safe, which is the ideal balance for lasting attraction. The reason choosing yourself is so important in this equation is because excitement and depth cannot be fully expressed without self-respect. Excitement that comes from trying to impress or please someone quickly becomes exhausting, and depth that is shared without boundaries can turn into emotional overexposure. But when you choose yourself, you create excitement from your genuine passions and depth from your true self, not from a need to be accepted. This makes your energy authentic and sustainable, which is why it resonates so strongly with men who are looking for more than surface-level attraction. Another layer of this truth is that excitement keeps a man's interest in the present, while depth secures his desire for the future. Excitement makes him look forward to seeing you, but depth makes him imagine building with you. Without excitement, he may feel boredom. Without depth, he may feel emptiness. Choosing yourself ensures that you naturally embody both because you are not performing for approval. You are living fully, which creates excitement, and you are grounded in self-awareness, which creates depth. The blend of the two is irresistible because it speaks to both his desire for fun and his need for meaning. When men crave both excitement and depth, they are not seeking perfection, they are seeking wholeness. They want someone who reminds them that life is worth celebrating but also worth understanding. Choosing yourself gives you the ability to embody that wholeness because you are not split between who you really are and who you think you must be to gain love. Excitement flows when you live unapologetically, and depth flows when you live authentically. Together, they create the kind of presence that draws men in, holds their attention, and makes them see you not just as someone attractive, but as someone irreplaceable. Power lies in choosing, not being chosen. And this truth fully comes into place when you choose yourself because self-empowerment shifts the balance of every relationship dynamic. Many people spend their lives waiting to be picked, validated, or acknowledged, believing that their worth depends on another person's approval. This mindset hands over power to others, making happiness conditional on someone else's recognition. When you choose yourself, you reclaim that power. You no longer wait passively to be noticed. You actively decide who deserves your energy, your time, and your love. That shift changes everything because it places you in control of your own narrative, rather than being at the mercy of someone else's choices. Being chosen can feel flattering, but it is fleeting if it comes at the cost of your own standards. When you seek validation by being selected, you risk adjusting your values or suppressing your truth just to maintain someone's interest. This creates a fragile foundation where your worth feels dependent on their attention. But when you choose yourself first, you establish an inner anchor. You begin to understand that not every opportunity, relationship, or person aligns with your value, and you gain the strength to say no. That ability to filter rather than cling is where true power emerges. Choosing yourself allows you to approach relationships from abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of asking, "Will they like me?" the question becomes, "Do I like them? Do they align with my standards and my life vision?" This perspective shift is powerful because it prevents desperation and fosters discernment. People sense this energy immediately. A person who needs to be chosen often comes across as needy or uncertain, while a person who chooses radiates calm assurance. That assurance is attractive because it communicates confidence, self-respect, and clarity. When you choose yourself, you also protect yourself from settling. Many people accept less than they deserve because they fear being alone, but in doing so, they compromise their dignity. Power lies in refusing to settle for anything that diminishes you. Choosing yourself teaches you that being alone is not a failure, but a statement of strength when the alternative is disrespect or neglect. This mindset not only shields your worth, but also draws in those who recognize and appreciate your strength. Men and women alike are compelled by people who hold themselves to higher standards, because it challenges them to rise to the same level. The act of choosing rather than being chosen also redefines the meaning of love and connection. When you wait to be chosen, love feels like something granted to you, almost as though it were a gift that could be taken away. But when you choose, love becomes a decision grounded in self-respect. It becomes intentional rather than accidental. This makes relationships stronger because they are built not on desperation or convenience, but on mutual recognition of value. Choosing yourself ensures that you enter relationships not to fill a void, but to share wholeness. That foundation creates healthier, more balanced dynamics that are far more likely to last. Another reason power lies in choosing is that it sets the tone for boundaries. People who fear not being chosen often accept treatment that violates their standards. They tolerate neglect, broken promises, or dishonesty because they believe walking away would mean failure. But when you choose yourself, you hold firm to your boundaries. You make it clear through your actions that you will not stay where respect is absent. This boundary setting is powerful because it creates accountability. It sends the message that your love is valuable, and anyone who wants it must rise to meet your standard. That is the essence of true choice. Choosing yourself also transforms rejection. When you wait to be chosen, rejection feels like devastation because it reinforces the belief that you are unworthy. But when you choose yourself, rejection becomes redirection. You see it as proof that the other person or situation was not aligned with your value, and you trust that something better awaits. This resilience is powerful because it keeps you from shrinking in moments of loss. Instead, you walk forward with your head high, carrying the strength of someone who knows their worth cannot be erased by another person's decision. Power lies in choosing, not being chosen, because choosing places you in the role of the author, not the audience. It transforms relationships from something you hope to receive into something you actively create. It allows you to define your standards, protect your peace, and shape your life with intention. Choosing yourself is the act that unlocks this power fully, because once you decide that you are worthy of respect and love, you will never again sit quietly waiting for someone else to define your value. Instead, you will decide where your energy flows, and that decision will attract relationships and opportunities that honor who you truly are. Respect sustains desire, and this truth comes into place when you choose yourself because genuine attraction cannot thrive without a foundation of honor and value. Physical beauty, charm, or even chemistry may ignite interest at first, but if respect is absent, desire quickly fades into frustration or detachment. Respect is the element that transforms fleeting attraction into lasting connection, because it ensures that both people feel valued and secure. When you choose yourself, you demand respect through the way you carry yourself, the standards you uphold, and the boundaries you enforce. This self-respect becomes the signal that teaches others how to treat you, and it is that treatment which sustains their desire for you over time. Desire on its own is unstable because it is often built on novelty or surface qualities. A person may be drawn to beauty, wit, or excitement, but without respect, the attraction loses its strength. Respect deepens desire because it adds weight and meaning to the connection. It shifts attraction from being about what is seen to being about what is felt. When someone respects you, they admire not only your appearance, but also your character, your strength, and your self-worth. Choosing yourself ensures that you do not rely on fleeting attention, but instead attract people who value you for who you are at your core. Respect also prevents desire from turning into possession or control. When someone is attracted without respect, they may seek to consume your presence without considering your needs. This dynamic leads to imbalance where one person gives while the other takes. But when respect is present, desire transforms into something mutual and balanced. Both individuals want each other not only for pleasure, but also for partnership. Choosing yourself teaches you to recognize the difference, because you stop accepting desire without respect. You no longer settle for being admired superficially, you require to be valued holistically. Self-respect is the foundation that sustains the respect of others. When you choose yourself, you set the standard for how you will be treated. If you respect your own boundaries, others learn to respect them too. If you honor your own worth, others learn to honor it as well. This creates a dynamic where desire is fueled by admiration. A person who desires you while respecting you sees you as more than an option. They see you as a priority. They are not only captivated by your presence, but also committed to treating you in a way that matches your value. Respect also makes desire sustainable, because it fosters trust. Attraction without respect often breeds insecurity, jealousy, and games, but attraction with respect creates security and stability. When you know someone respects you, you feel safe to be authentic, and authenticity strengthens connection. Men and women alike crave this balance, the excitement of desire paired with the grounding of respect. Choosing yourself ensures that you do not chase attention at the cost of your dignity, and that dignity draws in the kind of respect that keeps desire alive long after the initial spark. The reason respect is so powerful in sustaining desire is that it is rare. Many people are attracted quickly but fail to honor the person behind the attraction. This creates relationships that burn brightly but collapse quickly. Respect is what allows attraction to evolve into commitment. It creates the space for two people to admire, support, and challenge each other without fear of being diminished. When you choose yourself, you become unwilling to accept anything less than this. You refuse to trade your dignity for temporary affection, and in doing so, you filter out those who cannot provide lasting respect. Choosing yourself also transforms the way you view desire. Instead of seeing it as something you must hold on to by compromising, you see it as something that should naturally follow respect. You understand that desire without respect is empty, and you no longer chase validation from those who admire you but do not value you. This perspective frees you from unhealthy patterns and allows you to cultivate relationships that honor your full worth. That shift is magnetic because it communicates confidence and certainty, qualities that deepen rather than diminish desire. Respect sustains desire because it roots attraction in value, not in novelty. It ensures that you are wanted not just in the beginning, but continually, because admiration and appreciation do not fade as quickly as appearances or thrills. When you choose yourself, you make respect non-negotiable, and this decision ensures that any desire directed toward you will be genuine, lasting, and worthy of your time.